Mirror flat surfaces and surfaces curved in merely one direction are the most time-intensive to finish, particularly if they are to have crisp outlines too. With flat surfaces, there's no in-between. They're either flat or they aren't, and when they aren't, it's painful to behold. Here's a method that can both speed matters up and set you up to where you almost can't fail. It's all about preparation, which begins with your preferred selection of sandpaper of varying grits, the corresponding number of flat glass sheets, and spray mount. Have your local glassmaker cut you as many sheets of plain, ordinary flat glass sheets as you use different grits of sandpaper. Spray mount, preferably of the repositionable kind, is available at local hardware stores, office supply, arts and crafts stores, and online. You'll use it to glue a different grit of sandpaper to each sheet of glass. The glass should be a minimum of 1/4 inch thick. The industry norm for sandpaper in North America is 9 by 11 inches in size. It's a good idea to ask for beveled edges because they're less prone to chipping. Glass makes for a perfectly planar, hard support underneath the sandpaper, which guarantees the amount of abrasive actions the same throughout the surface being sanded. You want to pay attention to 3 things when you're spray mounting the sandpaper. First, apply the spray mount in a well-ventilated area only. You need to avoid inhalation of its potentially toxic ingredients. Second, the glass and the sandpaper need to be absolutely free of dust, grit, price stickers, and anything that could create even the smallest bump. Even the tiniest rise is sure to leave marks on your metal that can potentially ruin the job. And third, apply a thin, uniform layer of spray mount so you don't end up with gobs of the stuff, creating the very bumps and rises you're trying to avoid. Next, carefully apply the paper to the spray mount covered glass. The reason for recommending the repositionable spray mount earlier was because it leaves you with the option to make corrections in case the sandpaper doesn't line up perfectly with the glass sheet. A zero-tolerance policy toward trapped air bubbles, wrinkles, and folds is an absolute must, since they constitute bumps and rises of the most evil kind. Once you're sure the sandpaper is in position, you want to pat it down so it bonds across the entire surface of the glass, and therefore is perfectly flat. You'll soon notice that sanding small, thin parts can wear down the skin on your fingertips and make for many a fun day of nursing the raw, exposed nervous tissue. Before it gets to that, render your fingertips sticky by applying glue from a glue stick from time to time. It significantly reduces the amount of raw and bleeding fingertips. Besides, it's only paper glue and washes off quite easily with soap. And when the sandpaper's worn, it's time to remove it and put it in your low-grade waste for refining. Without fail, some of the paper base and glue will need to be removed with a razor before the glass surface can be reconditioned to near clinical sterility in preparation for the next fresh sheet of sandpaper.